Alright, this is the last technique, and this is actually the hardest one for people to get here. Okay? I'm going to first give you the general movement, and then I'll go into more detail about it here, which is the arm drag here. Okay? So, I have the grip right here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to load, same way, big hip scoot. The mistake that everybody makes is that they do not have a big enough hip scoot. Here. Big hip scoot out. Then I arch back in the same way, except this time I'm going to get up on my elbow. Arch back here, and then I get up on my elbow here. Once I'm up on my elbow, now I begin to take the back here. Okay? So, once again, here, drop the foot, here, big hip scoot out, here, arch back, arch back, this shoulder does not go back, I'm not doing this way, remember, lay on the side of your shoulder, here, like this, here, I actually look in this direction, here, pull this person forward, hook, here, and then now I have the back control here, okay? Now, there's a couple, well, there's a lot of details to this here. But one thing is that you can tell if you scooted your hip out enough when your sternum, when you get up, needs to be right behind his shoulder here. Okay? So when I make contact with him here, it's my sternum, the center of my chest, not left or right pec here. Okay? Especially not the left, because I'll slip off here. If your hip is too close to the person here. Okay, leg. You see how I'm lower? Now it's on my one side of my pec here. Okay? But watch. It doesn't matter if my hand is up or down right now. As soon as I move my butt up, look how it elevates me up here. So my upper body is more behind him. So this is very, very important. It feels more, it seems like you want to stay low like this to get behind him, but it's not. You need to actually move your hip away here to allow your chest to get up over his back. When you're doing the arm drag, it's very important that you pull his butt away from his heels. So for your opponent, the other reason why we're scooting out of 45 is his line of power, this force here, is strongest forward and back. When you scoot at 45 and you arch back, it's not pulling him this way. It's actually pulling him forward like this and separating his butt from his heels, but it's taking him in an arc. So he's going to have least balance here. It's much, much harder to try to take their back if they're able to sit their butt to their heels here. Okay? So let's actually turn around this way. Now, let me address a couple other things here. When you do the arm drag here, when you come underneath here, you see how his wrist is underneath my tricep elbow area here. This is rounding this shoulder forward this way too much. Okay? It's going to be very hard for me to face this direction when I scoot my hips out, when my shoulders are turned this way. So I feel a lot better when my elbow is here, okay? Now, do you see how this actually rounds his shoulder forward? I use my elbow and I push it to keep my shoulder down more here, right? So now, once again, you see how in this situation Carl's shoulder is back, my shoulder is forward. But when I do this, now his is forward and mine is back, okay? Drop the foot, scoot, big hip scoot out, arch back, and come up. When you come up, you want to hook with your entire arm as much as possible. Don't do this. You see I'm grabbing with the palm, but my elbow is not linked to his body. Link your elbow to the body. I don't even care about the hand right now. He's not thick enough that I need it. Here. Okay? When you have here and you have the center of the chest, if he pulls back, then it feels like he's pulling your entire body here. Alright? Now, the mistake that everybody makes, including my higher belt level guys, is that when they scoot their hip here, they're not scooting one completely on the side of their hip. Two, they're not arching back and pulling like this here. What they're doing is, watch this shoulder. As they arch back, they're doing this. They're laying flatter than coming up here. If you notice when I do this here, okay, I scoot, I arch, and then I come up. This shoulder never lays back here, right? It comes here, and then it comes up. It never goes backwards. It weakens you. Not only does it weaken you, but it's slower because you want to come forward here, okay? So, now this is also very important because, once again, it's too easy for a guy to counter you if you start going flat here. All right. So once again, here, drop the foot, scoot your hip out, big 45-degree angle. Turn on your side, turn your shoulder. Now I'm still right now a little on the back side of my shoulder. This is why, because I haven't arched out. When I begin to arch out, now I'm going more on the side of my shoulder. I get up, hook, and then I take the back. Once again, my higher belt level guys even have a lot of trouble doing the arm drag correctly here. So, and there's a lot of other things that I have to kind of pick apart, you know, what they're doing wrong while they're doing it. So with the video, I only can give you a general idea, and hopefully you can watch it and see how I do it. And there's a lot of advantages, once again, to the 45. You're going to move your hips out a lot easier than if you scoot them out sideways when you do the arm drag. There's a lot of other things, but it's important that you do all the other arm lock omoplata movements first. People try to jump to the arm lock one too quickly, and when they're not used to scooting their hip out in the right angle and doing a big hip scoot, it screws everything up. So once again, make sure you practice the other moves first before we do the arm drag.